Good evening to all you Truman State esports fans. Welcome to our Rocket League stream. Welcome to the semifinals for Truman Purple. We are looking at them going up against MSNU Mankato. Looking at Minnesota here. This competitor of ours has gone undefeated the entire season. And of course, they had a bye for their first round, so they did not have to compete. So, I mean, you can consider it potentially that they're rusty, and that definitely bodes well, giving Truman the first score on the board. Beautiful to see. Beautiful setup from Bus going into Xspire, getting that easy goal. The defense was, left looking for answers there. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum. That was a very fast score. I wasn't expecting to really see too much out of Truman's offense this early on, but I've been in the lab for a part of today, and I saw a lot of good communication and good teamwork warming up for this game from Truman. So I'm expecting a lot of good things here. Oh, and a little bit of a decent defensive breakdown there. Let's go ahead and see the replay to see exactly what we were expecting there. That was a knockout there. A little bit of a demo. There we go. That was a little bit of a weird camera action there. We're not going to argue with that. Sometimes the camera decides to do some weird things here. But let's go ahead and get into this next rally here. Dre going up for the aerial, and we've got a rebuttal from MNSU. I'm going to go ahead and just say Minnesota from now on. A beautiful aerial goal from Dre. Let's see that again here. Looks like Busk wouldn't got out of the air, and Dre went ahead and confirmed it. They were not in a really good defensive position there, and I'm kind of expecting that at this point this is going to be a high-scoring game. It is a best of 7 rather than the best of 5 that we saw in the regular season, so this could go pretty far. And last week we did see Truman have to go to 7 games against their previous opponent to get the W out, but they did get it in the end, so I feel confident. Demo coming out there, gonna get that disadvantage there. All right, everyone's back up. A little bit of aerial action here, getting it downfield. Ooh, a quick demo from Xspire. And Boss is getting it into position. Looks like Xspire's going to come off the wall here. A little bit of a... Did not actually do it. Dre going back to the defensive position. Going to get off that backboard there. Back into the air, and we are seeing it go back down to the other side of the field. Alrighty, a little bit of rebuttal in the air from Bus, and it's going to be contested up there towards the back. Just a little bit of a back and forth game here. We're seeing a good chunk of things happening in the air. A demo coming out there. Ooh, and a demo and a save. That is pretty interesting right there. Oh, another demo. This is a pretty demo-heavy game right now. I don't know if it's really getting into players' heads that there's a lot of demos going on, so they're going to really be shooting for it. Depends on really what kind of game's being played. Sometimes, people are going to get a little bit more aggressive here. And there's another demo coming down, trying to stop the advance from Xspire. And a demo returned again. Wow. Alrighty, we're seeing Truman trying to do something downfield there. Another demo onto Dre. They are trying to get into better position here, and it looks like there's a little bit of a breakdown for Minnesota. Seeing it go back down there. Going to be off the backboard there, trying to dunk it back in. Did not work out for them. Minnesota contest in the middle of the field, and we're going to see it go back up. Down the field for Bus. It's definitely going to be caught up by that Minnesota player there, if not by someone else. Seeing it go back down. Yeah, a little bit of a defensive breakdown there. I'm guessing that was probably as a result of a demo. I cannot keep up with every one of these demos thus far. Yeah, and it does look like it was a little bit of a positioning issue. The rotation was all in that corner when you really want to have it spread out further across the field. I'm not sure if that was an intentional go-ahead from Truman there, but it is going to get it down the field. Dre is going to pick it up in the midfield to keep it in the air. Bus is going to go up for it, and just barely missed a very light tap in there, but that's okay. A little bit of a hard place to go. Dre going up in the air with it. See what happens. Decided there was a bad angle there. Could go back down. Picked up by Xspire. Of course, the demo is going to come out. Dre's going to get it into midfield going down there, and Minnesota's going to have to answer to it. Ooh, great contest from Bus, but of course someone's going to be right there. Dre giving a good contest as well, and there's going to be another demo coming out from Minnesota. They're going to try their best to make it work there, but with the positioning of the ball on that last second there, nothing's really to come out of it. Dre getting it down back towards the other goal, and a quick miss there. Looks like that was Bus. Rotations are looking good, and this defense is pretty strong from Truman. I'm really liking what I'm seeing with these rotations. Outside of that one breakdown that we saw, the spacing has been really good. That's definitely keeping them in this game here. Spacing is a little rough for Minnesota right now. We'll see if Truman can get something out of that. Expire's going to be back to stop that, and it looks like everyone's dodging that ball a little bit. There's another far end from Dre. Alrighty, we're seeing a little bit of a dribble there before they're getting it back down the field, and it's just going right back and forth. We're probably going to see a little bit of an overtime here unless something happens. Off the backboard there, Bus is going to be there to stop it. Great block. Great stop from Bus there. What a save. All right, we're going to see it come in the air. Oh, and that looks like a little bit of a miss, a little bit of a dribble there. And there it is, barely touched the ground there. I'd be a little bit upset if I was in this game for that. Good attention to detail there from Dre, getting it slow so Expire can get something. We're getting off the backboard, going back down. Rotations are clean once again for Truman, as Dre's in there to contest. Expire back towards the goal. Keeping it in the air there, going to keep the dribble and keep the offense going. Dre's going to get it off the backboard there. Let's see if we see anything happen. Doesn't look like it was a good position. We don't have boosts currently displayed on screen, unfortunately, as we usually would like to, so we couldn't quite see what was going on there for Truman, but I expect it was the case that it was just a boost question. Expire is in the perfect place to stop that. I was a little bit concerned there, but I trust this Truman defense. It's really been one of their key factors here for this entire season. Dre with a great contest. Expire coming up for the... Ooh. I'm a little bit lost for words here. This is a very interesting defense that's having to be played. Truman is a little bit on the back foot there. Minnesota is probably starving them out for boosts right now, but their positioning is spread well enough that they should be able to at least share what they do have. Great contest from Dre coming out there, and they're going to get it high off the backboard. And oh, yeah, that's a little bit unpredictable there. Two people in the air. It is definitely very hard to try to predict where that ball is going to go after off of Dre's car. With both of them there, it's really any direction it could have gone. It's hard to go back. Hard to back up there in that position. Truman's going to drop that first match. But really, it was Truman that had them on the ropes for a long time. Their defense really held up just there until the very end. So I'm thinking this next match. I don't really think I should be predicting what's going to happen. But I do think that Truman has a good position here for this next game. And we'll see that in just a moment once they decide to give it to us. While we're waiting, of course, I must plug our socials. We are on Instagram. We are also on Twitter. You can find links to that on either one of our pages. Of course, this is being streamed from the TGL Twitch account, which is a student org on campus that just recently hosted the Bulldog Brawl 4 Giant Smash Ultimate Melee and Splatoon event. I do not know the winners off of that, but I was there. And it looks like we're getting into this next game, so we'll talk about that more in between the next game. Dre with a great position there off of that kickoff, and we're seeing almost a potential owned goal. The positioning from Truman is a little bit defensive after that. Having not the greatest positioning there after that, I think Expire definitely would have liked something to go more his way after that kickoff. But of course, understandably, you get a lot of traffic and it's really hard to get your positioning right when you could knock heads with another vehicle. We're getting a little bit of dribble here from Bus. Looks like it's going to be not high off the backboard, going to be contested by Minnesota. And Truman's going to do a good job of at least keeping it on Minnesota's half of the field. We're going to see a little bit of rotation there. Good attempt to the contest from Dre. but of course it is going to slow them down just slightly. A little bit of an aerial attack going on from Minnesota here. Dre going up and contesting it. Bus is going to be the one on the offense taking that down. And we're going to see a demo come out. 2 demos coming out, both of them on Truman. But that is going to make it much harder for them to contest anything. Of course, Bus coming right out from that demo and getting it back down the field. Truman is recovering very well. Looks like Bus almost went for a demo there. The recovery here is going to be a little bit slowed down. There's another demo onto Truman. They are demo happy, and I think that's probably been the thing that has spelled a great goal from Dre. I'm too busy talking about demos, and they're just scoring. Let's see this here. It looks like definitely Minnesota's game plan has been around the demo, and I know for anyone that has played a lot of Rocket League, especially at lower tiers, such as myself from when I did play very actively, demos are annoying and they can really frustrate you very easily. So I assume that a lot of their game plan was demo them fast, demo them often, get them off the game, get them off the rotations, and make sure that they have to make mistakes. And Truman is doing a great job of recovering from that. They have a lot of good communication. If we had comms for them, you'd hear their talking constantly to make sure that they are in the right position, to make sure that everyone knows where the ball is going to go. Even when it's only a prediction, Truman is able to react and recover. And as I said, some great defense being happening off in the aerial space above the backboard. Minnesota is keeping up that offense, and I'm sure about at this point, Truman is becoming boost starved, but they're putting up a great defense. Dre and Bus clogging up that goal is definitely helping them keep that down on, or get that down onto Minnesota's side of the field. A little bit of a fair aerial attack there from Minnesota, and we're going to hopefully see the ball head back down. A little bit of a defensive recovery there. Good job on Expire and getting that in a little bit of a more favorable position for Truman, as Minnesota is going to continue this attack onto the goal. A little bit of a spacing issue happening for Truman. That's a double attack, a triple attack, and just great recovery from Expire and from Trey, preventing those goals from coming in. They're really wanting to play off of that backboard, and it appears that Truman is having a good time defending those aerial attacks, because it seems like it's almost telegraphed. They're doing about the same thing every time, focusing on that aerial game. Of course, it's very hard to counter and predict and defend against an aerial game, and I think that is something that has probably been very successful for them in the past. 2 demos coming out from Minnesota onto Truman, and a great contest in the air from Expire, getting that ball back down there on the Minnesota side, and it looks like Bus trying to set something up there. Gonna get credited for a goal attempt, shot on goal, but wasn't quite in the space where I'd expect it to be counted for a shot on goal. Another demo from Minnesota, and a little bit of a knock on Expire there to get him slightly out of position. Truman's going to recover beautifully and get the ball back down on the other side. Truman, of course, is still leading this game. We are about at a minute on the time, and they are struggling to deal with Truman's defense right now. Of course, they're going to go for another aerial game here, and it looks like it's going to be, that was a beautiful flip reset into that goal attempt. Of course, the Truman defense in the air is doing great this game so far, so it was shut down pretty quickly. Keeping off that offense, keeping that ball down on Minnesota's side. Truman's doing a great job. A little bit of a space could have been desired there. Great control in the air from Bus there, making sure that he stays in that space and prevents Minnesota from trying to make some kind of play off of that ball. Very good control there. And of course, Truman is keeping it down on that side, and their rotation was a little close there. As you can see them getting a little close to each other, and Dre's doing a great job of trying to tackle. Really, they're stalling for time right now. They're doing a great job of keeping that ball slow and in position when they can control it. Good knock on into the air, and Dre's going to keep it in the air there. As soon as it touches the ground, it is out of play, and there it is. Kind of how I predicted it. Of course, Truman is going to come away with that W in the second game. And I think the thing that spells it is their aerial defense. They've been doing really good. They got the 1 goal on, and it looks like there's probably going to be a substitution here for Minnesota, at least what it's looking like right now. Truman, of course, for Team Purple, only has the 3 players, Dre, Expire, and Bus, so we're just going to see the 3 of them play here. Go ahead and wait for that substitution and see about this next game. Alrighty, and it looks like we're playing on. Of course, so Truman socials, if you're not following them already, Truman Esports is just about, you can find us just about anywhere online. Of course, you can find us on our YouTube, where these VODs are going to be posted after the game. You can find us on Instagram as Truman Esports, and you can find us on the website formerly known as Twitter, on X, also as Truman Esports. If you want more content or more things to know about Truman and our esports program, that is the place to find it. Dre with a beautiful contest in that airspace, and Bus is going to follow it up. Both players actually whiffing that ball, and Expire is going to be the one to recover. Dre keeps it up in the air, and Expire is going to come up and keep it slightly out of the space of Minnesota. Of course, trying to conserve a little bit of that boost there to see if there's anything to be done there. It didn't look like there was anything, so he said, nope, I'm out. Truman's doing a great job of keeping it in that corner there to try to make a play. Of course, Minnesota's going to have to try and contest it. Expire, slowing it down, preventing it from bouncing off that back wall, so they can't do anything there. A little bit of it looked like a pinch happened there, and a demo onto Truman. More play off of that back wall. Expire is going to try to clear that out, and Dre is going to follow it up just slightly over that defender. See it on the bounce off the back wall. Oh, that was almost an amazing goal. Great assist attempt from Dre. There's a lot of good communication here that you can see happening. And of course, I'm sure they're pretty frustrated over that ball not finishing, getting over that goal line. They're going to set it up again, and Minnesota's going to be able to recover. But they've been having some good attempts here, and Dre is going to try to almost get a flip reset there off of the back of that and just punch it in. When all else fails, sit in front of the goal and punch it in. There was a lot of offense happening there, and it was hard to keep up with that. I would love to get a clip of that whole sequence and break down every little thing that they were doing there. But it was a lot of good rotation, making sure you're keeping up on boost and boost starving. I'm sure it's hard to point out how often they're doing that, but both teams are trying to. The name of the game is boost management, and I'm sure Truman was doing a great job of keeping the rotations to make sure that Minnesota had less boost to deal with them and their aerial attack. Some interesting stuff going on here from Truman. Both Expire and Dre were up in the air for that. Ooh, yeah. And that is going to be a little bit of a rough state for the defense there, given that Expire was way far up. Dre was low on boost after trying to make that aerial attack. And of course, 3-on-1 in the goal, you knock out the goalie, it's just going to be easy. Great kickoff from Dre. It's going to be sent straight down for Truman. Expires on that backboard, getting it cleared out there, and Dre is going to have a nice clear towards center field. One bounce, and it's heading back towards Truman. Dre again going to at least slow it down. Expire is going to take it up and try to get it cleared towards the middle. Going to be contested by Minnesota. Huge stop from Bus there, but it's not going to matter when there is not someone to rotate into the spot that you need there. Dre's position, yeah. Expire was on the way back, but it wasn't quite tight enough for that defense there. So 2-1, a lot of game to be played. Another great kickoff. This time Expire is going to get it. A little bit of a pinch there happening at the beginning. Bus is going to clear it down. Dre is going to pick it up, and it's a 2-man attack, but it is going to be shut down by the goalie. Another shot on goal, and they're doing it too fast. I don't have enough time to react to this. A very good assist there in for Dre off the top there, and Dre just has to kick it in. Not enough time for Minnesota to respond to that. That's an easy goal. I doubt. Even kickoff there. Not a lot of height on that ball, and it looks like Truman is going to have a easier time recovering to that. A little bit of aerial play happening there. Truman's going to have to recover with that. A demo, this time on Minnesota. Truman has a demo on the board. Going for the flip reset there from Minnesota. It was unsuccessful. And great defense being played by Truman there. The hesitation in order to stop that was very, very good. Very good clear. A little bit of a bump there to stop the aerial assault from Dre. That was very good. A little bit of a rough position to try to handle that ball there for Dre. Probably struggling with a little bit of boost there too. A lot of stuff happening in this corner. That's kind of what you would expect. There's going to be a lot of play in that corner there. Everyone's trying to get something to happen. Minnesota's finally going to get that towards the middle of the field, but it's going to get shot to the middle of the field, the middle of the goal, I'm sorry. Dre with another great contest there. Another great contest from Dre, keeping that ball towards center field, off the backboard there from Minnesota. It's going to be a double play for the defense. A little bit scary, but they've got it. Expire's going to get it clicked out from that corner, and Dre's going to have to try to stop that. Very good from Dre. Hopefully there's not a follow-up. There is a follow-up, but they both whiff. Sending it back down there for Dre again in the air, stopping as much as he can. Bus sending it down, probably going to be a little bit of some corner action there. Easily repelled by Minnesota, but Expire's coming up to keep the ball in play. Another contest from Minnesota. Dre hanging back, manages to get it with the bump above him. And we're seeing it back in the corner for Truman. Expire is going to try to get it out of that center field situation. Bus is going to do a great job of clearing it, but Minnesota is going to answer. Demo in the air, not something you see every day. Another demo. It looks like Minnesota either is getting frustrated or is, oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Yeah, that is a little bit of rough position there. One person, yeah, you have two people trying to respond there, not sure who's going to get it. So Truman's going to have to score a quick goal here, or we're going to go to game 3 regardless, but Truman might be able to do something here if they can get it in the air, and it looks like they do. Bus is going to try to keep it in there. Dre looks like he is going to get it up there. Expire is going to try to connect with that. Bus is going to be the next person in line for that. Keeping it in the air. Center field for Dre. Dre's going to pop it up there, slightly over the defender. Minnesota is going to, interestingly, he didn't choose to knock it down, rather keeping it aerial. I don't know if they're trying to, there we go. Knocked it down. I was interested, I would expect that they would go ahead and try to get the ball grounded there, but of course the curve is going to make it really hard, so I'm guessing it just bounced off the way they weren't looking for it and didn't hit the ground yet. Of course they're going to ground it there. That's 2-1 in favor of Minnesota. Not a lot of offense. I mean, if you're looking at the stats that Rocket League is giving us, there's not a ton of offense happening on Truman's side. They're doing really good with their defensive rotations, and that is something we've been talking about the entire time. They're doing good on the defensive rotations and keeping them away from the goal and at least contesting the aerial game, but they're lacking on the offensive side. Of course, it is hard to produce on offense when you're spending all of your time on defense. Of course, ball possession is going to play a huge factor. So, hoping to see a little bit more offense on this game from Truman to hopefully balance out what is happening so far. That is a scary position to be put in immediately on the kickoff, and they are going to get a goal off of it. I would be surprised if you didn't score on that. Yeah, just a really rough position. Hard to rotate from that right after kickoff. I'm sure they were expecting something else to happen in the corner, ball sent out in the field, but nothing to do but recover. Very quick 6-second goal is not something you see super often. Of course, Dre doing a very good job to contest things off of that backboard there. And it looks like that was Expire going to clear it to the other side of the field. A little bit of play from Minnesota to get it back down. Dre's going to be there to contest it. Keeps it on the ground, but that's an easy recovery from Minnesota, and they can set up a little bit of offense. Did not take the bait there. It was a very good defensive position from Truman, but they are lacking in that. And yeah, no, that is a rough position to be in there. You have two people down in a more offensive position when you still have multiple attackers, and that is a hard position to recover from. A little bit of a tighter defensive rotation is the best thing that I can recommend personally from someone who doesn't play this game at this level, of course. But Truman is still doing a good job of rotating, especially on offense. That's definitely something I can say that they're doing a good job of making sure they're having these rotations. You can see there's a little bit of clutter on that right side there. Dre getting that save there, but they are bunching up a little bit, and you want to keep a good spacing, even if it's going to be really close. Good offense coming from Truman there, trying to put a little bit of pressure on Minnesota. Good recovery there from Expire to try to slow that down. And it looks like Expire is going to be the one to get it towards center field. A little bit of a bump there, and that is going to be a really rough position to try to recover from. Yeah. It is hard to tell what else is going on at this angle, but it looks like Dre was not expecting the defender to take that off of him, off of that dribble. So that's a rough position to put yourself in. Truman's not a stranger to being down in games, of course. If anyone remembers from watching us play last spring, of course, Truman went to the finals of their conference and won their finals of the conference, but they were down, I believe, 3-0, and they came all the way back to win 4 games in a row, or maybe it wasn't 4 games in a row, but they are not strangers. This is the same team that was there that day. They are not strangers of playing on the back foot, and that is shown time and time again. Very good defense there in the aerial game. Struggling a little bit to keep control of that midfield, and struggling a little bit with the spacing here, but good rotation here on the defense from Bus, keeping it down. Of course, you're going to struggle with the recovery off of the backboard there. Dre did a great job of keeping that contest there. You've got 2 defenders and goal going to be a really hard time to score from that. Dre, of course, is going to be out of boost here, so that's going to make rotating back pretty difficult, and any kind of contest from him coming out very hard. Bus is going to be the one to try to do something on the aerial game, and that is just a little bit, I think, a little bit of jumping the gun there. I think if Bus would have stayed in that position a little bit longer, it might have been a little bit easier to try to defend that. Of course, a little bit, I'm sure there was some communication happening there. Dre is going to be low on boost. He's not going to be able to contest that. So you've got to rely on your other teammates to do something in the air for you, and that's just a hard position to be in. Truman's doing a pretty good job here of at least keeping the ball on Minnesota's side, but of course, as I say it, they're going to clear it down to Truman's side of the field, and there is another demo coming out onto Truman. Good job from Expire trying to keep that ball in the air and get past that Minnesotan defender. It looks like Dre is trying to do something. Successfully does get it knocked down, and it looks like that is going to be a wonderful goal. What a goal! That was a beautiful pass. That is an amazing offensive move right there. The knockoff to the pass, the midfield to that goal, and it was perfect. Top right corner. Defender had nothing that they could do about that. Even if this game comes out as Truman being down 3-1, that was still an amazing highlight, an amazing testament to the kind of synergy that these guys are able to produce when they are playing together on the same wavelength. A little bit of freestyling happening here, trying to get it past those defenders. It is going to be pretty hard. Minnesota's game plan is pretty much, if we can keep the ball in our possession and prevent Truman from doing too much, we can just easily win the game. Of course, you can score. That's going to easily also win you the game. But keeping that possession and making it more difficult for anyone to do anything is going to be a good job. Dre, of course, was stopped in that contest of that aerial move there just by getting hit. So Truman's still going to be on the back foot. Deficit looks about the same as it did a couple minutes ago. Very good defense from Expire there. A little bit of a pinch. It's going to be a vertical ball there. Drake's going to go at it backwards, get the flip, and get the control of the ball, getting past at least one defender with 0 boost. That was pretty impressive. Expire's going to try to slow that ball down. It looks like it's going to be Dre that's actually going to clear the ball. Minnesota's going to keep the pressure on here, and Dre's going to be up on the wall once again trying to make something happen. pass up to Dre. Dre is with 0 boost here. Something's got to happen. Oh, what a perfect time to pick up that boost there. Expire is going to make something happen in the midfield, but their defense is there. A little bit of a missed opportunity for that clear, but Minnesota is basically kind of playing keep away there. If they aren't going to get a goal, they're going to prevent Truman from doing anything. A little bit of a defensive breakdown there from Minnesota, but of course the defense is going to be there just in time. Truman's going to have to do something ridiculous to actually score that many goals in that amount of time, but that, of course, is going to be 6-1. I don't know if there's a person in this world that could recover from that. There's not going to be an overtime. And even if there is, I don't know if Truman's capable of scoring 5 goals in 4 seconds. Kind of like a Kansas City Chiefs moment where they had 12 seconds on the board, but they were able to score. But that was just 1 touchdown, and this is going to be 5 goals. Quite the difference. Minnesota's up 3-1 in this series. The next game will take it home for Minnesota if they take this W. So we're just going to have to watch and see what happens. Of course, this tournament, I should speak a little bit about this tournament. This conference tournament is, to my knowledge, does not have a 3rd place game. I would have to double check on that, but I don't believe there's going to be a 3rd place game, so it's basically going to be a tie for 3rd place. Maybe they'll try to work something out, but as far as I know, NACE is only going to give a plaque and a congratulations to whoever comes in 1st place in the conference. Of course, we want that to be Truman, and we'd like to see them continue on. But this is going to be the opponent to beat right here. If Truman can beat this opponent, who's, of course, they've gone undefeated the entire season, that is a testament to what they were able to put together after the regular season ended and the run that they're putting together right now. Truman is in a very good offensive position here with the defense in their positions. They're going to have to really do their best to respond. And that was a good demo from Minnesota. I have to respect that demo, preventing them from doing anything there. Good defense from Expire, getting it out of the way. Running out of boost there to try to finish the contest, but of course, you're going to have Bus on the ground there to try to recover. Doing a great job there with the difference. There's Dre going for the clear to try to prevent too much from Expire, but of course, ooh, that is a rough position to have. Can Truman clear that? Yeah, they're going to clear it. It doesn't matter. What's like 5 people in goal at once, you know? A lot of things happening here in that midfield. Oh, there is a very, very charged play coming from Dre, getting at least down there to the other side of the field. The only thing that you're going to run into there is trying to rotate back down. Of course, that is going to be really difficult for Truman to do. And a very good attempt to try to fake Dre out and make him go farther on. Of course, he recovers very beautifully from that, knowing exactly where he needs to be in order to recover in that defensive position with very little boost that he was working with. Minnesota's doing a good job of keeping the ball in the air and trying to make Truman expend boost in order to defend against them, in order to make it easier for them to score. Of course, Dre is going to be trying to set up something here. The only thing that I'm concerned about right now is their positioning, being really clumped up in that corner. Of course, they're doing a great job of recovering from that. And of course, you're seeing the rotations happen on the off chance that something poor happens. You saw Dre back in the goal there. They're going to keep up their offense there. Not a lot that you can do a solo right there against 3. And that is a really rough breakdown right there. There's going to be a demo coming out. Expire is going to get a great clear there in order to get that back down. And Bus is going to recover beautifully after that demo. This is definitely a close game to see. And that was a very good touch from Expire. Wasn't able to get the confirm, but Bus is going to be able to continue it. And Dre is going to get a chance to get a shot on goal here finally. There's that demo coming out that Minnesota loves so much. And there's a demo right back from Dre. Keeping it in the air there and a little bit of bumping happening. Going for the dribble didn't quite work out. Expire with a very good goal and a demo onto Minnesota. Dre is going to have some freestyle here to try to get it in there just off that corner. Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to be the best position, but Dre is going to be doing a little bit of an aerial play. Hopefully someone can rotate. Expire's a little bit too far back to make anything happen. So that's basically going to be the end of that offensive turn. We're going to see Truman try to do something here on the defense to get it back down there. Very good bump from Expire to keep it in that air. Of course, they're going to have the boost to deal with it. A little bit of a trade-off. Very good stop from Dre. And Dre with the double save there, stopping both players. That's really impressive to do. Dre's going to try to get a little bit of a dribble off there. Going to get blocked off by that goalie from Minnesota. Expire's going to try to pinch it there to keep it back in that airspace. Clear. Expire's going to get it. Goal is clear. Bus is going to knock it up, and it's going to get blocked by Minnesota. Just a little bit of boost probably would have been the difference there between a goal and that stop in the defense from Minnesota. That was a very good stop from them. Bump on Dre is going to make that a very hard save, but of course, their rotations on that defense are very good. Expire, unfortunately, going to miss the prediction, but going to come back in and try to make something happen. Very good clear from Dre there. There's a lot of collisions happening in that goal, so they are needing to do something. Dre's going to get it down on the other side. 30-second warning is here. Another big attempt on goal. Dre is going to miss out. I think he was probably going to go for the demo there, if not at least for the ball. Good setup there from Minnesota, but it's going to get blocked by Truman. Truman again going to get a big block there. And that is an amazing demo there. That is going to put them in a little bit of a rougher position. Minnesota's got to make something happen fast. And of course, Dre is going to be there to save the day in the air. And we're going to be in this overtime. The next goal is going to spell the end of this series or the continuation of this series. We're in overtime. Good job from Dre there to win that 50. All right, we're going to see some plays in that corner there. Bus, I don't think he was expecting Expire to do anything in the air. Dre's going to go ahead and recover and at least keep the offense going. Minnesota is looking to get the contest there, and Dre is going to be there to try and at least do something. Minnesota is going to miss that, and Bus is going to be there to at least keep up the offense. Bus going for an aerial play off the backboard. Going to be stopped slow. Not a lot of... He had some boost to do it, but it just was a rough position. Dre, of course, going to get up there in the aerial space. Going to see Expire take it down there. Very good dribbling there to prevent the defense. Bus is going to recover beautifully from that. Expire is going to take it off that wall, and it looks like it's going to be a pass into Dre. Just narrowly stopped from Minnesota. Going back down on to... Still on Minnesota's side, actually. I was expecting it to get clear. Dre is going to have to do a little bit of a rough recovery here. Past the Minnesota defender number 1. Past Minnesota defender number 2. Expire is going to get it in there. That was a huge block from Minnesota. That was very close to a disaster for them. Dre in that aerial space trying to slow things down. This is a very rough position for Truman to be in with where they were at there. Truman keeping their composure and keeping the offense going. Demo onto Dre is probably the person they want to demo here. Dre has been doing a great job of facilitating this offense, and it looks like it's going to be Dre on the defense. Looked like a demo was going to happen, and... Oh, you hate to see it. Right in the corner, right after Dre was up in the air. He tried to predict the high. He didn't get it. And that's going to be it. That's 4-1. And that is going to be the end for Truman's season. Unfortunately, we are going to be tied for third in this conference. Truman did a great job this season. They went from a 4-3 record to at least getting to the semifinals. That's probably the best that we could ask for out of this Truman team. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And of course, if you're interested in more Truman activities, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on X, and you can find us on YouTube, where this vlog will be later this evening.